Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Age 2. Last we left off, we had finished a bitter pill with Fenris, and he ran off, distraught. Looks like the conclusion actually is at the Hawk Estate. Sadly, I'm not going to get the cutscene here that I wanted to get.
I've been thinking about what happened with Hadriana. You and I don't always see eye to eye, but that doesn't mean you deserved my anger. I owe you an apology.
I was worried about you.
I had no idea where you went. I was concerned.
I needed to be alone. When I was still a slave, Hadriana was a torment. She would ridicule me, deny my meals, hound my sleep. Because of her status, I was powerless to respond, and she knew it. The thought of her slipping out of my grasp now. I couldn't let her go. I wanted to, but I couldn't.
You're making excuses. You need to let your past go.
Your need for revenge is consuming you.
And what would you have me do? Hadriana came after me. I have never had the option to simply walk away. Am I supposed to forgive, no matter how many times they hunt me down? Am I supposed to forget all the things they've done to me?
It's eating you up, Fenris.
If you're wondering why you can't move on, this is it.
Yes, this is it. Why can I not grasp something so simple?
That was
It's
patronizing.
a sickness, this hate. This dark growth inside me that I can't ever get rid of. And they put it there. This...
Your weapon
isn't
keeps
why I
appearing and
came here.
disappearing. I'm trying to help you.
You can't do this alone, Fenris.
No doubt you were right.
Eek. And actually there is a continuation of that scene. But unfortunately I need to have a
There's
particular...
an elven woman here, Miss Eyre. She claims she was sent here by you. I didn't know what to tell her.
Hello, Oriana. Or Orana.
Greetings, mistress. Your home was difficult to find. I've never been out on my own before, but I found it. Many people know of you. I hope I've made myself useful. I've already begun cleaning and I can cook. Not as good as Papa, but a little. Is there anything else you'd like me to do?
Are you alright?
You've been through a great deal. How are you feeling?
I miss Papa, the other servants. I try not to think about what happened. I even feel sorry for the Magister. Is that bad?
No, it's not bad.
You served her a long time. I understand.
I'll serve you just as well, mistress. You'll see.
No, I'm going to pay you.
If you're staying here, Orana, it will be as my servant.
You mean I won't be a slave anymore?
Exactly.
You'll be paid, like anyone else.
A slave is all I've ever been, like Papa and Grandpapa before me. I'll try to be a good servant. Thank you, mistress. You're too good to me.
She is such a sweetheart. And, as a side note, we all of a sudden have a lute.
Orana plays the lute beautifully. Must have been one of her duties as a slave.
Yeah. And keep bumping into walls there, Hawk. Puppy? You're a good Mabari.
You take good care of us, don't you? Want some pets? I bet you do.
Aww. That's a darling sweetheart puppy. Yes, it is. Alright, but clearly Fenris is not doing quite so well. Let's go visit him in his mansion. He has some unresolved feelings that he probably wants to talk about. Hey, Fenris.
Last bottle of the Egregio. I've been saving it for a special occasion.
Really?
And what's that?
The anniversary of my escape. Astia Vala Firmundis. Care to hear the story?
He's smiling. You want to discuss it now?
I thought you avoided talking about this.
Not on special occasions.
Tell me anything you like.
I enjoy listening to you talk.
There are few pleasures greater than speaking with a beautiful woman. Let's see. You've heard of Saharan? The Imperium and the Qunari have fought over the island for centuries now. I was there with Daenerys during a Qunari attack. I managed to get him to a ship, but there was no room for a slave. I was left behind. I barely got out of the city alive.
He abandoned you?
I thought Daenerys considered you valuable.
He wasn't given a choice. The look on his face as the ship pulled out was priceless. There are rebels in the Saharan jungles called Fog Warriors. They found me and took me in, nursed me back to health. I stayed with them for a time, until Daenerys finally came for me.
Didn't you want to leave?
Were you with these Fog Warriors willingly?
I'd grown fond of the rebels. They bowed to no master and fought for their freedom. It was beyond my experience. When Daenerys came, they refused to let him take me. He ordered me to kill them, so I did.
What?
I killed them all.
What? Why?
Why would you do such a thing?
It felt inevitable. My master had returned and this fantasy life was over. But once it was done, I looked down at their bodies. I felt I couldn't. I ran and never looked back.
You didn't stay in Saharan?
Couldn't you have found other Fog Warriors? Become a rebel?
Even if I did, I felt unworthy. I had no way of knowing if I could truly escape from Daenerys then. I didn't even know what that meant. I simply had to get away. I stowed aboard a ship to the mainland and moved south, chased by my former master every step of the way.
Why didn't you leave earlier?
I have to wonder why you stayed with Daenerys as long as you did.
You have not been a slave.
This is true.
A slave does not dream of freedom or wonder at possibilities. You think only of your master's desires and what the next hour will bring. It did not occur to me that I could be anything else until I had a taste of it.
All slaves feel that way?
But there are stories of slaves rebelling all the time. They did in Kirkwall.
The ritual that gave me my markings also stripped me of my memory. Whatever I was before may as well have never been. Perhaps if I knew, I might have felt differently.
You regretted killing them?
How well did you know these Fog Warriors?
I knew them only a few months, but in that time, I felt as if I truly lived. They were bold, strong, free with their affections. I was in awe of them and owed them everything. And I turned on them even so.
How did you get away?
Didn't Daenerys stop you?
The rebels had wounded him. The soldiers he brought attempted to capture me, unsuccessfully. It was weeks before Daenerys was able to mount the hunt in earnest, but by then, I was already gone.
Huh. Thank you for telling me.
This can't be easy to talk about.
I've never spoken about what happened to anyone. I've never wanted to. You and I don't always agree, but
You were saying.
But
I have never allowed anyone too close. When my markings were created, the pain was extraordinary. and the memory lingers. But you are unlike any woman I have ever met. With you, it might be different.
So you've never...
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
If there was someone before, I have no memory of it.
And since?
There was no one after you escaped, even.
I stayed nowhere for long. Who would I trust? I didn't think I needed anyone, or wanted anyone, until now.
Aww. I'm willing.
We could find out.
On another evening, perhaps. A last toast, then. To the fallen.
Aww. And see, if I had actually completed that quest before going out and doing his little personal quest, I would have gotten a very different cutscene back at the Hawk Mansion. But speaking of which, let's go back to the Hawk Estate.
Fenris?
I have been thinking of you. In fact, I've been able to think of little else.
Oh my.
Command me to go, and I shall.
Now's not good. And leave. Oh god, 2 options to break up with him. Oh gosh. Don't go.
No need.
Aw. Whoa.
Was it that bad?
I'm sorry, it's not... It was fine.
Fine.
No, that is insufficient. It was better than anything I could have dreamed.
Was it the pain?
Your markings. They hurt, don't they?
It's not that. I began to remember my life before. Just flashes. It's too much. This is too fast. I cannot do this.
What did you remember?
Your life before? What do you mean?
I've never remembered anything from before the ritual, but there were faces, words. For just a moment, I could recall all of it, and then it slipped away.
But I care about you.
We can work through this.
I'm sorry. I feel like such a fool. This should never have happened in the first place. Forgive me.
And that line is a little bit different when you are on a friendly romance with him.
One of the few things Orana has.
Oh, poor Fenris.
Ah, you've returned. Everything's quiet here in the mansion, for the moment.
Yeah. Oh, and that reminds me.
Could I have some salamanders, please?
Don't do it. That's where the boom comes from, I think.
I'm making chunk mince.
Indeed you do. But there's a very specific line that I hope to goad out of him.
I want to go home.
We can go back to Ferelden one day, my boy. I promise.
Could I have some salamanders, please?
Don't do it. That's where the boom comes from, I think.
It's very shiny.
What is? Okay, but anyway.
I'm making chunk mince.
Yes.
I'm making chunk mince.
I know it sounds bad that I keep clicking on him, but...
I want to go home.
We can go back to Ferelden one day, my boy. I promise.
Sandal.
I want to go home.
We can go back to Ferelden one day.
Bodan, stop talking.
Your house is pretty.
Oh, thank you.
I'm making chunk mince.
Yes, you do.
Your house is pretty. I'm making chunk mince. It's very shiny.
Ugh.
That big tower in the lake is scary.
He means the gallows, and I quite agree.
Huh.
Your house is pretty.
I promise I won't do this forever, but I am trying to get a very particular line out of him. And it's an important one.
Your house is pretty.
I don't know what specifically may trigger it.
I'm making enchantments. I want to go home.
We can go back to
I guess for now. Anyway, so... yeah, things with Fenris seem to have, picked up. Alright. Well, Anders apparently wants to have a word with us in his clinic.
I've been neglecting my patients lately. I should spend more time here.
No, I'm keeping your ass with me, Fancy Pants.
Have you noticed how many Tranquil are in the Gallows courtyard lately?
Yeah.
And don't tell me I'm just sensitive to it. I've been watching, and every day there are new Tranquil selling their bloody wares. Good mages, too. People I know pass their harrowing.
That's against the law.
Doesn't Chantry law say that mages who pass their harrowing can't be made tranquil?
Exactly. The Templars are using the right of tranquility to silence those who speak against them. They're working on a deliberate plan to turn every mage in Kirkwall within the next 3 years.
They wouldn't do that.
Whatever you think of Templars, you can't imagine they're so heartless.
They're worse. There are groups in Kirkwall who help those fleeing the Circle. I've talked to people on the inside. The plan is the work of a Templar named Sir Ulrich. I've had a run-in with him myself. He's the one who did the ritual on Carl.
No.
Nasty piece of work. Likes to make mages beg.
Run-in?
What happened between you and Sir Ulrich?
I've been involved with an underground resistance.
Of course you have.
Mages living free in Kirkwall who help others escape. I can't tell you any more, for your sake and theirs. You have too much involvement with the Guard and nobility. Suffice it to say, I've been in the Gallows. I've seen his work firsthand.
Stop trying to protect me, Anders. Tell me about this Templar.
What else do you know about Sir Ulrich?
The Knight Commander is at least sincere in her convictions. However misguided, she believes she's helping people. Sir Ulrich's a sadist. Cold-blooded as a lizard. He likes to experiment on mages. Find out what it takes to push them into the arms of demons.
That's awful. Well, I could be diplomatic here, but... what are they, bored?
Don't Templars have anything better to do than come up with new ways to torment mages?
No.
Shifty glance.
My friends in the Mage Underground know a way inside. A secret entrance under the walls of the Gallows. Come with me tonight, please. Help me find the evidence of Sir Ulrich's Tranquil Solution.
Tranquil Solution?
What do you mean, Tranquil Solution?
That's what he calls it. His idea of a peaceful solution to the mage problem. To sunder the mind of every mage in the Free Marches. I'm told he's bringing his proposal to Val Royeaux, to the Divine herself. He would turn every mage in Thedas into a drooling simpleton under his command.
Of course I'll help.
I wouldn't let you face this alone.
You are the one bright light in Kirkwall. I've always feared being made tranquil. Now, more than ever, I'm ready to go when you are. Our entrance is concealed not far from here.
But before we go, I have something else for you, Anders.
I thought you might like this.
The Tevinter
You got me
Chantry
a
amulet.
gift. I hardly think I've done anything to deserve that. Is it a... That's a Tevinter Chantry amulet. Do you want me to get executed?
No.
It's sacrilege to wear those in any land under the Divine.
Well, the Tevinters are freed mages.
The Divine condemned their chantry because it freed mages from the Circle. I thought you might sympathize.
I like it. Maybe not on the outside of my clothes. I'm not that eager to face the hangman's noose. But I appreciate the thought. I've never really thought about what life would be like in the Tevinter Chantry. in the circle, they make it sound like the void itself. The Black Divine stalking Thedas, making it unsafe for kittens and virgins.
Oh, they'll be alright.
Those kittens and virgins will just have to find a nice strong mage to protect them.
From what I hear about the Tevinters, that's the last thing they'd want. The virgins, anyway. I've never heard about any horrific kitten rituals. I appreciate the gift. Perhaps one day I can return one as meaningful.
Oh, that's very sweet. One of his special gifts. Yay. So naturally I'm going to be dragging Fenris along with me as I go to try and figure out what's going on with this Templar, right? Because, you know, that's the smart thing to do.
Never get sick.
Oh, actually, this kind of reminds me.
There are no jobs in this sea. Only more misery.
So what's with that magical fisting thing you do?
Sorry?
You know, when you stick your hand into people.
Oh, that. Yes, it's, talent.
You could make so much coin with that.
Oh my gosh, Izzy! That magical fisting thing you do. Oh my gosh. Oh. Why am I not surprised? Oh, you're gonna try and stab me from behind, are you? They say that, but you know, we've obviously proven otherwise.
The sewers aren't half as bad as the deep roads.
They're not?
Do not tell anyone about this way into the Gallows. It's a secret that has saved the lives of hundreds of mages.
Well, I didn't plan on it. Okay, crate. Oh, and it's time to level up. Oh, and apparently Izzy's got my back. I could boost my skills here again. But I don't know. Let's start building towards healing people again. Group heal. Actually, given that I've already got a healer, much better to have revival. Someone else who can bring someone back. That is, I think, much more useful. And much more practical. Well, before I descend into the sewers, as fun as that's going to be, I'm going to cut the video off here. But tune in next time where we continue going through the Gallows dungeon and see what we can do to find this Sir Ulrich and see what he's actually up to. So, hope to see you then.